I am trying the ketogenic diet once again, and not that because it has failed in the past. It hasn't. It's just something that I can't do for the long haul. It serves its place for me, and it's there for me when I need it. Um, but I got introduced to this form of dieting, oh gosh, over 30, 35 years ago. It was 88, 89, 90 when I got into bodybuilding. It was the one at that time that come out was called, the one that I was introduced to was called the anabolic diet. Some bodybuilders got together and used the keto diet to build, a bodybuilding program, dieting format. And the guy that owned the gym where I went, he was a national level head and pro bodybuilder, and he was testing out. He liked to try different things, and I think that's where I got my thing for like that, trial and error myself. It's kind of a fun thing to do. Kind of it's almost you get to control what's going on and get to experiment and see the results. So I find it fun. I did find it fun. That was in my younger years. So I looked over the anabolic diet and I really liked it. It's saying you can eat bacon, egg, and cheese, and hot dogs stuffed with cheese, and pork rinds, and all this stuff, and even more. You're guaranteed to just melt body fat and build an amazing amount of muscle. And I tried that anabolic diet several different times, and I never got the results that they said I would get in that book. First, I think they're recommending the wrong types of fats. It was dirty dieting, the dirty keto, I guess you would call it. It just didn't get results. I swell up. I gained a lot of water weight from the amount of sodium in the foods. And I tried it several different times throughout my bodybuilding career, and I competed from 85 to I think 2001, and I think around 97 or 98, I can't remember, I was trying it again. Maybe this time I know a little more, it'll be better. So I followed what the book said, and I was on it for about 2 weeks, and it just wasn't feeling right, and I felt like I was swollen. Um, I was working at managing GNC, and I went up to one of my coworkers and I stood. Now, I'm a bodybuilder. I can take constructive criticism. That's why I ask. If you don't tell me the truth, I don't know what to change. So when I ask you something about how I look, my weight, this and that, I want honesty. I want a critical eye. So I stood in front of the guy. He knew I've been dieting. I'm getting ready for a show. I just started my dieting, so I'm already in a bulk phase, coming down from that. And I stood there and I said, I've been dieting for 2 weeks. I said, does it look like I lost any weight? He looked, he said, nope. I said, okay. And totally fine. That's what I wanted, because I knew what to do now. I knew to first quit that diet. But a few minutes later, he was, at the register checking this woman out, giving her change, and she told him, she says, honey, if a girl ever asks you if it looks like she lost weight, she said, you always say yes. And he's like, oh, she doesn't count. But I thought that was a funny story. But getting back to my earlier years in doing these high-fat diets, after the keto diet, after the anabolic diet, I tried that was a protein power diet, and I tried the Atkins diet. And I didn't give them full runs. It just kind of felt like a repeat in a way. I got to be honest. I just didn't put a lot of weight on those. I maybe tinkered with them for a couple of weeks, and I don't even have those books anymore. And over the years, being in bodybuilding, as the years passed, I tinkered with forms of keto dieting. We generally diet, for about 12 weeks. I mean prep diet, specific dieting. Some go a little bit longer. So generally it's about 12 weeks. So I take that 12 weeks time and I slowly tweak and alter the diet as I get closer to a show. So what I was doing, I was cutting out carbs and adding fat in, and this other girl was doing it with me. She was kind of helped guiding me, and noticing that, getting rid of these carbs and we're adding more fat. I'm just getting better and better and getting leaner and harder and vascular and striated. I'm eating fat. It's a strange concept at that time, but it was working. So I literally watched fat melt off my body using the keto diet. Man, this was a cleaner form. I'm dieting for a show, so I'm not eating any processed fats, no processed meats or anything. So it was pure clean. So that it's not a trick, but that's the working factor. as close to Mother Nature as you can get. That's rule number one when it comes to dieting and getting results. But it's been, oh, I really enjoyed those bodybuilding years. It was really interesting, um, watching the changes a physique can go through. And I remember, I was very active on the bodybuilding forums back then. I was a moderator at bodybuilding.com, and there was a phrase going around in fact, oh, it was probably year 1999, 2000, 2001, whatever, that you cannot build muscle and lose fat at the same time. I mean, you're going to get into a fight if you disagree with that. You can't build muscle and lose fat at the same time. And I'm watching myself, my numbers in real life, prove them wrong. And I am training clients online, and their stats are proving them wrong. And I'm not one to sit there and argue and fight, and on message board, real life, nothing. I never said anything. But I knew that they didn't know what they were talking about, because I am watching it and my clients' stats and myself. I'm watching the numbers. I know how to do body fat percentages. I literally watch their numbers every couple of weeks. That body fat is dropping and that muscle is increasing. Obviously, a lot of them are new people. It's easier to build muscle in a new body. But if anybody ever tells you that you can't build muscle and lose fat at the same time, they are dead wrong. There's you can't bulk and cut at the same time, but you can definitely build muscle and lose fat at the same time. And I think with doing the ketogenic diet correctly, eating natural foods, avoiding a lot of processed stuff, you eat a lot of meat and vegetables, that's one of the quickest ways to get that body fat to drop. It sheds all that excessive water sitting in your body, and you can just get healthier. Put it like that. That's a safe way to say it. But something that you might want to try if you want to. I'm ready for it. It's taken me a little while to get here. I knew that this day would come, that I'm going to get back on my keto diet, and it just I started it Friday. It's been 3 days, and it's been fine. I haven't been stressing, nothing. I'm looking forward to getting my health back, and feeling better, getting energy, and sleeping better. So that's my goal in this. Weight loss is always nice. I'm not in the best shape anymore. Not what I used to be. So I'm back on the ketogenic diet, back on keto, and looking to move forward. And with that, I am doing my best, and things are getting better, and I hope that they are for you too.